Welcome back everyone to Pineleaf Plays the Beorning, and we're here in the Prancing Pony where we are asked to speak with Strider. And we'll head over to his room, and for once I am actually expecting it to be locked. You won't believe how many times I've taken this quest, come here, go to the door, and have taken it back for a moment because the door's locked. Forgetting of course the door's locked. Strider had left Bree.
How can I be of service?
Oh, hello again there. I was busy, so I didn't see you, but there's never a moment's peace here, if I may say so. I was so worried that he'd sour the beer for letting Mr. Underhill and his friends go off on that ranger. Why that would be Mr. Gandalf, of course. You say that he's a wizard of some sort, then I'll say he must be. Just go see him. I don't Maybe I shouldn't read everything that Mr. Butterbur says. He does talk a bit. So let's go up here to speak with Gandalf.
Why do you disturb me?
You are lost, or seek me with intent. By the look of your eyes, I gather the latter, though I also sense you sought another. Strider, perhaps? Then we have both come too late. Our mutual friend has left, bearing with him a terrible burden. I am Gandalf the Grey, a friend of Strider's. If you set you to the task, it could not be much less urgent than his own. Tell me your tale, and I will deliver it to him. Ah, so Angmar rises. It is grim news, but I am not surprised. Nevertheless, I cannot turn aside from my own task, for the fate of all Middle-earth hangs upon it. This burden I place upon you, in the name of the free peoples of Middle-earth. Hinder the Witch King's plans, if you may, whether east or north. I bid you the good fortune farewell.
I need your assistance.
I guess you do. Ooh, that is a nice necklace. And alright, from Tom Bombadil we need to... Oh yeah, that's definitely... I think it's time to get some new boots. Alright, you have done much good for the people of Breland, but the shadow out of Angmar spreads far and wide. I have learned that Gwaihir the Windlord, that another of my order has found corruption in the Lone Lands east of Bree. It may even be related to the dangers you encountered in the Great Barrow. Unfortunately, Radagast is given to wandering and will be difficult to find. I will ask you to enlist the assistance of the rangers in finding his location. There is one here in Breland, Saradin, who will be able to aid you. Alright. And then you find Saradin along the Greenway. Now, of course, that means we pretty much have gone a full circle here, because... it was naturally... Oh, yeah. This place I'm also notorious for somehow taking a wrong turn in. Because, let's face it, Radagast is the one who sent us all here in the first place, and now we're being sent back to Radagast. Now, I noticed they did not change the quest text to take that into account. So let us take care of that some other time. But yes, they did not update the quest text in any way to take that into account. Because let's face it, the Beornings in the early parts of Book 1, or in the prologue at least, they were changing it whenever it was the Beorning, in order to take into account that I wasn't one of the normal ways to go in the prologue. Now the next thing I want to do is here, since it's night, it's easier to give it to the actual shade. Shining and gleaming, I had seen this before, on hand of my kin, as death pulled him forth. In the stone alcove where life ebbed away, we had hid treasure, and summoned forth death. Now shall I rest as my brother the same, at last at peace, at last to dream. Seek the black rock. And there we go. That takes care of that. So now let's head over to the skirmish camp. Now unfortunately these are dim Etherhorn tokens, which are really completely useless to me, because they do not stack with the Glass of Aglair. The Glass of Aglair is treated pretty much as if it were a permanent hope token, a non-consumable hope token. Hello?
Greetings. Could
Yeah.
I speak with you a moment?
Let's go. You don't need me to read this one.
While war raged in the south and the rangers of the north were absent, brigands and ruffians took an opportunity to wrest control of Bree.
Oh, okay.
A great war is beginning.
Great war is beginning, and the battles we fought are great and perilous. You will not survive alone. Fortunately, there are soldiers of the free
There are
people.
soldiers of the free peoples willing to fight by your side. If you call them, they will aid you. Use the horn here. Learn the skill it possesses. Then call forth a soldier to aid you in retaking Bree.
I was so used to reading stuff that I forgot that there was a voiceover for the whole thing.
Good. Now use your new skill and call forth a soldier of the free peoples. Very good. Now let me share with you the plan of how you're going to reclaim Bree. Skirmishes against the enemy focus on taking and controlling locations of value and importance around the battlefield. In reclaiming Bree, these locations are the South Gate, the Auction House, and Bill Fanny's home in that order. The gate is well protected, but your soldier will aid you in the battle. If he falls, simply call for another by reusing the skill you learned. If not for my arm, I would be at your side as well. Now go and reclaim Bree.
Now, back before they lowered the minimum level to 20, there might have been some challenge to this quest. But if you do this at level 20, there is really not much in the way of challenge for this, because there's a slightly different scaling for the skirmishes at below level. Let's see, below level 40. There's a little bit of a difference in how, on the curve, on how difficult they become. So therefore, they're a little more challenging around level 40. At 30, they were a little bit easier, and they follow the low-level curve when they extended it down to 20. So everything's paper thin and easy when you do your low-level skirmishes. Oh yes, this way. So therefore, that's why it's a bit. So therefore, you can probably do this without the soldier, without too much trouble. And you can do this in bear form. I was a bit surprised when I first found out that you can actually take a control point in bear form. Because you would think, with all these things that say you have to be in human form in order to do this, taking a control point is not one of them. Alright, and here's the encounter. This is a little less in encounters. Alright, good. Now the next quest in the epic storyline is level 22, the one I have right now, so therefore... Oh, that's right, he goes away until part 2. Hey, Alright, let's go. Part 2. The pony. Let's... And inside.
The inhabitants of Bree have spent the occupation holed up within the prancing pony. Angered at their uprising, the brigands have decided to burn them out.
You will need a stronger ally for this foray. There are many ways soldiers can be trained and outfitted for battle. Archers, warriors, protectors, sages, bannermen, and herbalists are all willing to answer your call. For this battle, a warrior will be to our best advantage. Will? Tom, come out here for a moment.
I'll have to see what that letter has later.
Speak
than I...
to Will, purchase the warrior role trait. Then speak to Tom and complete the soldier's training.
Now this costs 0 for the first step of the warrior trait, so that's to show you how you buy this thing so they don't. But since originally you probably would have had so few marks that you couldn't afford to get anything past that. So some people will buy the first level, not realize they already bought the first level, and still saying, well, how do I buy it now? I don't have any marks left.
Very good. A warrior will increase our offensive capability and allow us to cut through waves of enemies.
Right.
Will, Tom, get back inside. We'll handle this. Prepare yourself, my friend. Their first wave approaches.
Biggest part is keeping the soldier alive.
I believe we have a moment of respite before their assault continues.
Alright. Yeah. They give us only one
The enemy
wave.
employs a number of terrible lieutenants, specially trained enemies with unique skills. It is difficult to know which lieutenants march with the enemy until they arrive on the battlefield. I caught a glimpse of a large orc with this force. Be prepared. It could come at any time.
Maybe right when he
Here
gives
they
the
come
lesson.
again. To arms!
Oh. Hey, it was a bad time to start cooking. And here's this terrible lieutenant. Hey, you.
I believe we have a moment of respite before their assault continues.
The number of times I'm doing this, I'm wondering if I ever saw that
As
Kraban.
you encounter and defeat more lieutenants, you will learn more about how they affect the battlefield. And what you can do to expose and exploit their individual weaknesses. They all have at least one. I believe we are nearing the end of this battle. Defeat this assault and Bree will be free once more. Here they come!
Alright, good. In the number of times on there, I guess I've forgotten that Kraban was there. Either that or that lieutenant actually summons it, and he so rarely lived long enough in order to do it. You don't need to kill the other two guys, just the boss here. Bill Fernie. You can't kill Bill Fernie anyway, since he has to be around for later parts of the story.
They have been vanquished!
Yay. Anyway, very short version of this skirmish. Bree is safe. You have done us a great service by aiding the cause. I would have held for a short time, but that half-orc with Bill Fernie and Harry Goatleaf surely would have done me in had I been alone. Thank you greatly for your aid.
Near the major locations of Middle-earth, you will find skirmish camps. Bree, Rivendell, and Thorin's Hall, to name a few.
There you can barter your skirmish marks for new and better soldier traits and gear and equipment for yourself.
Safe travels, my friend. Perhaps we will meet again in another skirmish against the enemy. For now, I salute your courage.
Alright. And that's the Skirmish tutorial. Now, the real big question is, which
What
soldier?
can I do for you?
Now, one of my other characters, I'm using an archer, one of my other Beornings. So I think here I'm going to try an herbalist. See what happens if I go all out, trying to do damage and let the herbalist keep me healed. Because there are a number of times where I've come pretty close to getting killed. Haven't quite yet, but I'm constantly on the edge on there. So I think an herbalist will be a good help there. So I'll try that and see if it works.
Greetings.
So therefore we'll replace with an herbalist. Let's get some refreshing herbs. Some light armor training. Confirm that. Oh my goodness gracious! 3 of 3 points! I have been forgetting to bring that out, that's for sure. Alright. Let's get some bleed damage. And actually, might be any advantage. Any advantage might actually be good in this case, because sometimes it doesn't seem very good because you have to be behind the person in order to do it. But if you strike an enemy from behind, it heals you. And it may be tough to wind up arranging that under some circumstances, because they have to be behind you. But then within the herbalist, sometimes they all go attack the herbalist. Let's see, is there anything else I want to do? What do you have for jewelry? See if there's anything really outstanding. +6 agility. +6 vitality. 19 block rating. I can wait a little bit. And as for medium, well, I'm getting some nice medium from the various epic storylines, so maybe not now for now. When you're a little bit higher level and you're going to be at a level long enough, maybe that'll be a good time to do that, but not when you're low level. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to head over to the task bulletin board and turn in some tasks. Then I am going to do some crafting. And for the next time, I'm going to decide whether we are going to head out to Cerdan. Actually, probably run a skirmish, since I've gone through the trouble of the tutorial. As for next time, let's run one of the skirmishes, run those. And that'll be for our next episode of Pineleaf Plays The Beorning.